Thinking about moving to Melbourne, Florida? Whether you're relocating for work, retirement, or just want a slower, sunnier pace of life, this is your ultimate guide to making the Space Coast your next home base. I'm Stephen Thomas, a local real estate expert here in Brevard County, and today I'm breaking down everything you need to know about Melbourne before you make that big move. Now, before we dive in, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want weekly videos about living, buying, and thriving here in Florida's Space Coast. First up, where exactly is Melbourne? You'll find it on Florida's East Coast, part of the famed Space Coast. It's positioned right between Cocoa Beach to the north and Palm Bay to the south. From downtown Melbourne, Cocoa Beach is only 21 miles away, roughly a 35-minute drive under normal traffic conditions. And Palm Bay is just 6 miles south, so very close by. Planning visits to major areas? You're about 57 to 72 miles southeast of Orlando, which is about an hour and a half, and about 162 miles from Miami. That's a 2.5 to 3 hour drive depending on traffic. So getting around here is very easy. Melbourne is served by Interstate 95 and US Highway 1. These are both major north and south arteries up and down the Florida East Coast. Also, US 192 runs east to west, connecting you inland towards Orlando and the West Coast beaches as well. And yes, Melbourne has its own airport. The Melbourne Orlando International Airport, or MLB, is located just 2 miles northwest of downtown. This is a single terminal regional airport with around 8 daily departures. Major carriers include Allegiant Airlines, American, and Delta, offering nonstop flights to hubs such as Atlanta, Charlotte, Cincinnati, and seasonal services to Minneapolis, St. Paul. Allegiant even connects Melbourne to regional airports like Allentown and Cincinnati, with airfare deals sometimes under $80. So, whether you're flying in or road tripping with a U-Haul, Melbourne's location makes your move logistically smooth. All right, let's talk about housing, because that's why you're here, right? Because this is probably one of the biggest reasons you're even considering Melbourne. Am I right or wrong? Well, the good news, Melbourne's real estate market has range. You've got options like historic homes near downtown and O'Galley Art District. Think 1920s bungalows and cozy craftsman style properties. You also have sleek riverfront condos with sunrise views over the Indian River. And of course, brand new homes and master plan communities popping up all over West Melbourne and Viera. They have amenities like pools, walking trails, and even golf courses. Now, let's talk numbers. According to Zillow, as of mid-2025, the typical home value in Melbourne is sitting around $366,000. Depending on the source, that number can shift. Rocket Homes reports a median sold price of $408,000, while Redfin shows it closer to $315,000. That's a wide range. That means most homes fall somewhere in between $315,000 to $410,000, depending on size, location, and obviously upgrades. Interestingly, prices have dipped about 4% over the past year, but that might actually be a great thing for buyers trying to get in before the market turns up. Brevard County overall is still forecast to appreciate steadily throughout 2025, following national trends of 2 to 3% annual growth. So, what if you're not ready to buy but just want to rent? Most renters can expect to pay anywhere from $1,400 to $2,200 a month, depending on the location and the square footage. Studio apartments average about $1,268. One bedrooms run about $1,500 a month, and 2 bedrooms are around $1,700 a month. Zillow's rental data puts the all property average at $2,066 a month as of June of 2025. And here's a tip: if you're looking for affordability and new construction, check out West Melbourne. It's booming with homes near Heritage High and the St. John's Heritage Parkway right now. They have everything from brand new single family homes, and they are typically listed between $380,000 to $420,000. And they're flying off the market right now as we speak. And hey, if you're relocating from a state like New York or California, here's a bonus. Florida has no state income taxes, as we all know. So your dollar does go further here, especially when it comes to buying a home. So whether you're looking to rent short-term or put down long-term roots, Melbourne gives you options without the South Florida price tag. And speaking of those options, if you are needing assistance with moving to this beautiful town, simply hit the link in the description to book a call. All right, let's talk about what Florida is known for, and that's the weather. Because if you're moving to Melbourne, Florida, this is something you definitely need to know. On the surface, it sounds amazing. 230 plus sunny days a year, and yeah, from October through May, it's mostly clear skies and beach weather. But here's the part nobody really tells you. From late May through early October, welcome to Florida's wet season, aka daily afternoon storms. That's right, around 3 to 4 months of nearly daily rainfall. especially in July and August, with an average of 17 to 18 rainy days per month. So if you're planning anything outdoors in the summer, plan it early or pack an umbrella, and you may want to bring a poncho. But the good news is, it's warm year-round, where the winter highs are typically in the low 70s, with the lows in the upper 40s to 50s. Summers peak around 90 to 92 degrees Fahrenheit, but thanks to the ocean breeze, it doesn't quite feel as scorching as inland cities like Orlando. Now let's address the elephant in the room, and we're going to talk about hurricanes. Melbourne is in Florida's hurricane zone, and storm season runs from June to November, with peak activity usually between August and October. While direct hits are rare, the region has seen its fair share of intense storms. I'll give you an example. Tropical Storm Faye in 2008 dumped over 18 inches of rain in a single day. That's one of the highest rainfall totals ever recorded here. So, what does that mean for homeowners? If you're buying in a low-lying area or near the Indian River or beachside, you'll want to consider flood insurance. In some zones, it's required to close on a mortgage. So the bottom line is, the weather here is mostly paradise, but it's important to be prepared for Florida's unique climate mix. You got sun, you got rain, and you got the occasional storm surge. So just be ready. If you're watching and you've got kids, or even if you're just thinking ahead, education is a huge part of any relocation decision. And here in Melbourne, the school system is a major plus. Let's start with the public schools. Brevard County public schools are amongst the most respected districts in Florida. One school that constantly tops the charts is West Shore Junior Senior High School, located right here in Melbourne. It's ranked the #1 high school in Brevard County, top 20 in the entire state of Florida, and even breaks the top 50 nationally according to the U.S. News and World Report. So the number speaks for themselves. Over 95% of the graduation rate, with the vast majority of students testing proficient in both reading and math. Plus, they boast an average SAT score around 1330 and ACT scores around 30. This school has also earned the Blue Ribbon Award for Excellence, which is basically the gold standard for education here in the US. Private education options are also strong in Melbourne. Families often consider Holy Trinity Episcopal Academy, known for its college prep and athletics. You also have Melbourne Central Catholic and Calvary Chapel Academy, which they both offer faith-based curriculums from K through 12. And when it comes to higher education, you've got Florida Institute of Technology, aka Florida Tech. Go Panthers. It's a private STEM university that draws students from all over the world and plays a big role in the tech and aerospace scene here locally. Now, outside the classroom, family life in Melbourne is active, safe, and community oriented. There are over 130 parks in Brevard County. One of the largest is Wickham Park, with nearly 400 acres of playgrounds, biking trails, disc golf, archery ranges, and even equestrian trails. If you've got toddlers or younger kids, there are splash pads everywhere. West Melbourne Community Park is a local favorite, also called Field of Dreams, with 12 different spray features. There's even one right in front of the AMC Theater in Vieira, and that's perfect for cooling off after a matinee. Youth sports are also a big deal here, whether it's soccer, little league, football, or even tennis. You've got well-organized leagues and top-notch facilities. You even have the Space Coast Complex in nearby Vieira, and that's one of the most advanced youth sports venues in the Southeast. Neighborhoods like Vieira and Suntree really bring that to life. Master plan communities with trails, playgrounds, dog park, and a sense of togetherness that's tough to beat. All right, let's talk about what really makes a move sustainable: jobs and income. We're talking about money. Melbourne is right at the center of Florida's Space Coast, and that means you're stepping into a thriving economy fueled by aerospace, defense, healthcare, tech, oh yeah, and education. You've got major employers like Northrop Grumman, with average salaries just over $113,000 a year. You also have L3 Harris Technologies, known for its high-paying defense and communications roles, and they average about $71,000 a year. And in the health field, you have Health First, the largest healthcare provider here in Brevard County. They run Holmes Regional Hospital and several other top hospitals here locally. Then, as far as education, you have Florida Institute of Technology. As I mentioned before, this is a prestigious STEM university with thousands of students from all over the world. And here's a stat you'll love. Melbourne has one of the highest concentrations of engineers per 1,000 workers in the entire state, and it ranks among the top 25 in the US for high-tech paying jobs. That's according to the Space Coast Economic Development Commission. Unemployment sits at just 3.7%, and that's well below the national average, and the job market continues to grow steadily year over year. So whether you're moving here for aerospace, healthcare, education, or just looking to work remotely, you'll definitely find opportunity here. And speaking of remote work, Melbourne has some solid infrastructure. From high-speed fiber internet to co-working spaces downtown, it's easy to plug in. stay productive, and enjoy a slower pace of life while still earning a big income. So you want a full relocation checklist, job market overview, and school zone breakdown? Download your free Melbourne Relocation Guide. And just so you know, the link is in the description below. I put this guide together to give you everything you need to make an informed decision, from neighborhoods to cost of living to exactly where the jobs are. So just grab it below while you're watching. All right, this is where Melbourne really shows off. If you're wondering what your day-to-day lifestyle might look like here, think relaxing beach mornings, outdoor adventures, and tight-knit community events. Let me walk you through it. Let's start with the beach. Melbourne Beach is just minutes from downtown, and the vibe? Peaceful, clean, and totally local. It's one of the oldest beach towns on Florida's East Coast and still feels untouched compared to places like Miami or even Daytona. Want to go fishing? There's the Melbourne Beach Pier. Need a spot for a family picnic? Head over to Reichman Park. It's got gazebos, a playground, and a front row view of the Indian River Lagoon. Now, for my water lovers, if you're into kayaking or paddleboarding, the Indian River Lagoon is a dream. It's one of the most biodiverse estuaries in North America. You'll spot dolphins, manatees, and mangroves all around you. Locals swear by spots like Sup Eco Adventures or ballot boards for rentals and guided tours. Fishing, surfing, boating, you name it. Whether you're casting from the causeways, hopping on a deep sea charter, or just grabbing your board and hitting the surf, Melbourne gives you year-round access to outdoor water sports. And best of all, it's never overcrowded. Now let's talk about land life. Wickham Park. Wickham Park is one of Melbourne's crown jewels. Nearly 400 acres of trails, disc golf, equestrian areas, and an archery range, and even 2 swimming lakes. You can walk, run, or bike the 5-mile loop, bring your dog to the fenced-in dog park, or pitch a tent and go camping with the family. It's also home to seasonal events, concerts, and food truck festivals that bring communities together. Need a break from the sun? Melbourne's local scene is growing fast. Downtown and the O'Galley Arts District are filled with craft coffee shops. They also have microbreweries, indie art galleries, and funky boutiques. It's the kind of place where baristas know your name and where every mural has a story. And if you like local events, this part is for you. Every single April, Wickham Park transforms for the Melbourne Arts Festival with over 200 artists, food trucks, live music, and a kid zone. It's a huge deal around here with over 50,000 people attending each year. Oh yeah, and it helps that the admission is totally free. And don't miss the downtown Friday block parties where locals gather for music, food vendors, and community fun right on the street. It's a little slice of small town charm with a Florida twist. Honestly, living in Melbourne means every weekend feels like a mini vacation. You've got beach mornings, river afternoons, park picnics, and live music by sunset. I think that's what makes this place so special. It's not just where you live, it's about how you live. All right, let's break down some of the most popular neighborhoods in and around Melbourne, because where you live makes all the difference. First up, Suntree and Vieira. If you're looking for master plan neighborhoods with great schools, well-kept sidewalks, and a true sense of community, this is your spot. Vieira has seen explosive growth over the last decade. Vieira West alone more than doubled its population between 2010 and 2020, jumping from about 6,600 people to just over 16,000 people. And the schools here, top notch. You have Suntree Elementary, Manatee Elementary, and Vieira High consistently ranking amongst top schools in Brevard County with 9s and 10s on greatschools.org. Plus, you've got golf courses, shopping, dining, and newer homes all in one tight-knit area. Perfect for growing families or anyone who values a well-planned lifestyle. Next, West Melbourne. This area offers a blend of affordability and new construction, making it super attractive for first-time homebuyers and young families. It's actually one of the fastest growing cities in Brevard County over the last 20 years. The homes here range from cozy 3-bedroom homes in the high 200s to larger 4-bedroom builds just over 500,000. It's also family friendly with tons of parks, schools, and shopping nearby. While it's a little more suburban and car dependent, many people love the space and peacefulness. If you're into artsy vibes, walkability, and that mix of historic charm and nightlife, you'll definitely want to explore downtown Melbourne. You'll find bungalows from the 1920s, walkable streets lined with coffee shops, breweries, and boutique stores, plus new condo developments popping up as the area modernizes. This is a great spot for young professionals, creatives, or anyone who loves being in the center of culture and energy. Just south of Melbourne is Palm Bay, and if you're looking for value, this is where you want to look. It's one of the most budget-friendly areas in Brevard County with a wide range of inventory and plenty of new construction. If your goal is more square footage or a larger lot at lower prices, Palm Bay definitely delivers. Yes, you may be a bit further from the beach or downtown, but you're still close enough to enjoy everything. And you also get way more house for your money. And of course, there's beachside, including Melbourne Beach and Indian Atlantic. If your dream is waking up to ocean views or catching sunrise surf sessions, this area is pure magic. And I'm not talking about the Orlando magic. It's more expensive. Homes here can easily run $600,000 and up, but you're buying a coastal lifestyle, laid back, friendly, and just a few blocks from the sand. This area tends to attract retirees, remote professionals, and beach lovers who don't mind the premium price tag. So, whether you're raising a family in Vieira, planting roots in West Melbourne, living creatively in downtown, finding value in Palm Bay, or relaxing by the waves in Melbourne Beach, there's a neighborhood here that matches your vibe and lifestyle. And the best way to figure out which one fits you best, talk to someone who lives and breathes this market every single day, like myself. With that being said, click the link below to book your free relocation call. I'll help you narrow it down and give you honest advice based on your goals. So treat yourself, don't cheat yourself. All right, let's talk about what it actually costs to live in Melbourne, Florida. Compared to South Florida, Miami, or even parts of Orlando, Melbourne is still relatively affordable, especially if you're coming from the Northeast or California. Let's start with housing. The average home value here sits around $366,000 according to Zillow. That's lower than the state average and way below what you pay in places like West Palm or even Fort Lauderdale. Redfin reports the median sales price in Melbourne is currently at $315,000, which is a 4.3% drop from last year. So whether you're buying a starter home or upgrading, there's real value here. And if you're financing, a typical mortgage on a $293,000 home will run you about $2,200 a month based on current rates right now. When it comes to dining and groceries, it's pretty standard. A casual meal out will cost you between $12 and $20 a person. And if you want to treat yourself, a 3-course dinner for two at a mid-range restaurant is around $75. And when it comes to groceries, expect to spend around $500 a month per household, depending on diet and shopping habits. Now, let's talk about gas and transportation. Gas in Melbourne currently runs around $3.60 a gallon, which is just slightly above the national average. If you rely on public transportation, the Space Coast Area Transit charges about $1.50 per ride, or you can simply get a monthly pass. When it comes to utilities, on average, you're looking at about $200 to $300 a month, depending on the AC usage, especially in those summer months. Electric bills alone average about $130, which is slightly under the national average. So let's add it up. Livingcost.org estimates the monthly expenses for one person, including the rent, are about $2,400, with about $760 going towards non-housing essentials like food, gas, and bills. And of course, one of the biggest perks of living here is that Florida has no state income tax. That means more of your paycheck stays with you, especially if you're moving from states like New York, New Jersey, or California. So, if you're budgeting for a big move, here's the bottom line. When it comes to home ownership, expect a $366,000 average. When it comes to eating out, you're gonna spend about $12 to $25 per meal. When it comes to groceries, expect $500 a month. When it comes to gas, $3.60 per gallon. When it comes to utilities, $200 to $300 a month. So the total monthly cost will be about $2,400 per person, and you get to keep more of your income thanks to Florida's no state income tax policy. Honestly, for a little beach town with so much to offer, that's a pretty solid deal. All right, real talk time. Let's break down the pros and cons of living in Melbourne, Florida. Because no place is perfect, but Melbourne definitely has some standout perks. Let's start with the pros. Pro number one, it's affordable. Compared to other Florida cities, Melbourne is a deal. The cost of living is about 8% lower than the national average, and even more affordable than places like Orlando or Miami. Right now, the median home price sits around $277,000. That's well below Florida's coastal living average. Pro number two, strong schools and a steady job market. Brevard County schools are ranked amongst Florida's best, with standout schools like West Shore Junior Senior High, which I mentioned before. And thanks to our nickname, the Space Coast, you've got job stability in aerospace, defense, healthcare, and education. Those big players include L3 Harris, Northrop Grumman, Health First, and also Florida Tech when it comes to education. Go Panthers. Pro number three, beach life without the chaos. You're just 10 to 15 minutes from the Atlantic Ocean, but without the massive beach crowds you'd find in Miami or Daytona. It's the kind of place you can still find parking at the beach on a Saturday. Seriously. And pro number 4, that relaxed, family-friendly vibe. This is a community where people still wave when they drive by. That's a real thing here. You still got parks, splash pads, family events, and quiet neighborhoods where kids still play outside. It's a slower pace, and for a lot of folks, that is a win. Now for the cons, because I gotta keep it real with you. Con number 1, this is actually a Florida thing. Summers are very hot and sticky. We're talking 90-degree days with humidity that can make walking out to your mailbox feel like a sauna session. I'm sweating right now. Oh, and get ready for those 3 p.m. thunderstorms during the summer months also. Con number 2, you'll need a car. Melbourne doesn't have a major public transit system. Yes, there are buses, but to live comfortably and get around without stress, you're gonna need your own ride. Con number 3, we're in the hurricane zone. Melbourne is on Florida's east coast, so yes, we do get hurricane warnings during June to November season. Direct hits are rare, but flood insurance and prep plans are a smart move here. And con number 4, this could be a good or a bad thing. The nightlife isn't wild here. If you're looking for big clubs, concerts every weekend, or the late night Miami energy, this might not be your place. Melbourne's more about craft breweries, live acoustic sets, and early nights than partying until 2 a.m. But honestly, for a lot of people, especially families, retirees, and remote workers, that slower pace is a plus, not a minus. You get the Florida lifestyle with fewer crowds, less stress, and more value for your money. Moving is a big deal, and where you land truly matters. Whether you're coming out of state or just relocating across town, it's more than a new house. It's about finding the right neighborhood, the right vibe, and the right lifestyle for you and your family. According to the Melbourne Regional Chamber, most new residents say what makes their transition smoother is working with someone who's not just knowledgeable, but genuinely invested in their success. As your local Space Coast realtor, I help people every day with understanding their mortgage options in the shifting market, navigating communities like Vieira, West Melbourne, and beachside spots that match their goals. And yes, even offering full virtual showings if you're relocating from out of state. So here's an example. With current interest rates hovering around 6.5 to 6.7%, if you're buying a $350,000 home, your monthly payment could land you somewhere around $2,200 bucks. Budgeting for that ahead of time can make or break your move, so you want to be prepared. And in case you're wondering about competition, Melbourne homes are still getting about 2 offers and going under contract in just over 50 days right now. It's a manageable pace, but only if you have a solid plan. So here's your next step. Click the link below to schedule a free relocation discovery call with me. We'll walk you through your timeline, your needs, and your goals. And then we'll map out the clearest path to making Melbourne your home. And hey, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like, leave your questions in the comments, and share this with anyone else about making that move to the Space Coast. Until next time, I'm Stephen Thomas, your go-to Space Coast realtor. Let's get you a home. See you in the next video.